Everyone is like, well, this is all really great to hear, but Navarro is still stuck with a lethal catcher's mitt stuck to her face. So Rain suggests using the cryofuel to freeze the base of the tail. That way it can't be used to choke her while they remove it. Jesus, how the hell does it fit that ginormous tube inside of its own body? Does it have some kind of hammer space for phallic objects? Well, Navarro is at least up and about. No way of knowing if it was too late. These things operate on the zombie infection scale, where it's all down to convenient timing. Rook tells Andy he needs to protect these people from their own sentimentality, that by trying to care for a woman who, more likely than not, is going to die, they're risking all their lives and letting a monster loose. Andy gets the point and tries to explain why they can't bring Navarro with them. Bjorn is not one easily persuaded. Rain goes to help, but as she once again is working to get him working, the upgrade has given Andy the clarity to see he's a burden to her. He wants to start showing that he can be helpful, but Bjorn doesn't want his help. Funny that. He gets Navarro to undock the ship, forcing Andy to leave or get blown into space, and he won't be terribly useful if that happens. The question even Rain can't answer. Is Andy trying to kill Navarro? His behavioral inhibitors should prevent that, but Bjorn's mother died when a synthetic had to choose between the lives of the many or the lives of the few. But is there a difference between leaving someone to their deaths and actively causing death? It's hard to know what goes on inside the AI black box. Andy might be coming back and telling Rain to glue cheese onto pizza. That's all I'm saying. Well, Navarro is not doing very well. Yeah, I'm no doctor. That's not a tapeworm, though. Rather than the screaming and writhing and the hey, it hurts me, Navarro instead has a seizure, kicking the controls and sending the ship careening off and leaving them trapped on the station. And it's in danger of crashing, remember? Yeah, like that. By chance, the ship winds up finally smashing into a launch bay on the Romulus side of the station, so it'll be a hike to get there. What's worse, they have a limited window to do it. 47 minutes, because thanks to all the calamities that happened along the way, the station is going to hit the ring sooner. This is a ticking clock, though I think it's probably too short of a ticking clock. For one thing, it means that the alien that just burst out is going to mature in minutes. Now, things may operate on a sliding scale of convenience, but there is such a thing as stretching credulity too far. See, the thing about storytelling is that it is lying to people who want to be fooled. They want to accept what you're saying as truth. Now, they know, of course, that's not truth, but the idea is you have to sell it as if it's truth, the same way that anyone does trying to sell a lie. And you don't do that by including elements of it that don't make reasonable sense. Now, yes, that becomes more difficult when you get into escapism. With science fiction or fantasy, someone comes back, oh, so you expect in your story of interstellar spaceships and monsters with acid blood that it be realistic? Well, yes. The more elaborate the lie, the more convincing everything around it has to be in order for it to hold up. Think for a moment when The Odyssey comes out. A film that's going to have a giant cyclops that eats sailors. What do you think will be the reaction if Odysseus' first mate is a cowboy, complete with a Colt 45 and a 10-gallon hat? Do you think people are going to walk out of the theater going, my God, that Christopher Nolan's a genius? He took the utter annihilation of the entire city of Troy and juxtaposed it with an American icon, using that to then make a comment about America's history of systemic genocide. No, they're going to wonder, what did he start smoking when he was on Oppenheimer, and by God, when is he going to stop? Leaving that aside, though, the less time that you allow, the more urgent the situation is, therefore the less sense it makes for characters to engage in non-urgent behavior. Oh, it's not enough that we're going to run your errand for you, Rook. We need to listen to your backstory first. Let's all stop and hear your motivation when we only have 20 minutes to live. Oh, wait, you probably don't know what I'm talking about because we haven't actually gotten to that point yet. Less than 47 minutes, and Andy still hasn't had the conversation with Rook about this errand. We should probably get to that.
Andy, 255 artificial person. Your model was once the backbone of our colonization efforts, and it's an honor to be in your presence.
Apparently, Rook's programmed to blow smoke up your ass. He gives Andy his assignment, and he soon returns to Rain and Tyler, who point out the problem. The facehuggers are loose in the corridor between here and Romulus. The idea is that, since they respond to sound and body heat, that if the room is raised to body temperature, then so long as they're quiet, they should go unnoticed. Unless they start to panic, which can spike their temperature, or cause them to perspire, which will lower it. So it's really a case of never let them see you sweat. During this, Kay has left the ship, only to find the stage we haven't seen before now. What happens between the little chest burster shedding its skin and showing up as a killing machine? The answer is that it forms some kind of fleshy chrysalis where it can mature. And I do have to admit, if H.R. Giger had designed this, yeah, it probably would have looked like that. Well, Bjorn, he gets the bright idea of electrocuting the monster, so he plugs his shock stick into the equipment to juice it all up to lethal levels. Except it's not. It's just injure levels, which is problematic for two reasons. First, because he's also injured, so he's not terribly mobile right now. And second, the creature he injured bleeds acid. And being immobile and underneath it, well, you can guess the punchline. The film is giving you distinct deaths here. Facehugger first, acid second. The many ways the monster can kill you. As someone who's played through Isolation, I can tell you, there are lots. Seems that incident is enough to make the alien get out of bed now, which is a problem for Kay, who's stuck in the hallway, and soon Tyler gets a phone call at a rather bad moment. Playing IT for people is unpleasant at the best of times. When you're supposed to be silent, and you're talking to someone who's panicked for their life, that's something you should normally escalate to your supervisor. At least she's able to find the key in the end. Again, not a doctor, but I don't think that's very good for pregnant women. As for Tyler and Rain, yeah, their cover's blown. They barely make it, thanks/no thanks to Andy, who almost traps Tyler with them, but does ensure none get through. He puts it down to good math skills, and since Kay has the much bigger problem right now being stalked by an alien monster, we should probably just let things go. It inexplicably leaves her, though. But she's not looking a gift horse in the mouth, even if it does have a tinier mouth inside. But Andy has figured out the strategy. The alien is using her as bait so it can kill all of them. There's a furious debate.
Open the fucking...
Well, some problems just work themselves out. That's a relief. Rain is horrified that Andy could do that, and it prompts a question.
What's your prime directive?
I'm afraid I have a new directive. To do what's best for the company.
That sounds familiar.
With every decision you make, is this good for the company?
Andy says that the alien is going to look for a way to get to them, so they need to get moving. So they ride this Wonkavator so Andy can run Rook's errand, and in return, Rook will get them off this station before it's destroyed. Rain and Tyler can even continue with their plan of flying off to new lives, and they'll definitely have enough cryofuel for the trip now. We can probably head for a space resort planet if we wanted to. So they arrive to explain what this is all about. Not weapons, but the problem with space habitation.
Mankind was never truly suited for space colonization. They're simply too fragile.
Yeah, we can't survive being crushed in a hydraulic press. What a design flaw. Rook has effectively reverse-engineered the engineer's black fluid to use as a means of enhancing human beings. Prometheus Fire, he calls it. Romulus makes homages to all the Alien films. This naturally is back to Prometheus. Rook is back to the original Alien with Ash. Novara is to Alien 3 with her haircut. And Aliens...
Right, this is an F-44AA pulse rifle. It's rotating breech electronic pulse action. It's what the Colonial Marines used.
Hooah! Good news, it has auto-aiming, so even if you have no experience, it can still hit. Bad news, you can't actually shoot anything. This isn't a planet-side colony. The acid blood will spill out and keep eating through the floor until it breaches the hull. But the alien has demonstrated intelligence, remember, and at least has thought of laying traps, meaning that it is likely to recognize a weapon when it's pointed at it, meaning that there's a chance that holding one will at least cause it to slow down as opposed to charging right at them when it thinks all they can do is hurl empty bottles at it. They proceed towards their ship, only it turns out the path has been innestified or something, turned into alien environment. They're about to turn back, but Tyler hears a human sobbing and realizes that's Kay, not dead after all. But they also find the remains of who knows how many members of the crew, all burst open like the world's shittiest piñatas, meaning there's not just the one alien to worry about. There's all these hatchlings that are ready to continue their ugly circle of life. Still, they get Kay down at least, but she was wounded by the alien. Likely the reason that she hasn't gotten a facehugger embrace yet. There's no sense wasting an embryo on her if she might die. These things don't operate on Goa'uld rules. They're not going to heal her, they're going to kill her. We don't have any first aid of any kind that we can apply, except the black fluid. Tyler's willing to do anything, but Rain thinks that something these people all glued to the walls think was a medical wonder might not be their best first option. Not when we can put her in hypersleep when we get back to the ship. I should have said if. An alien could be one of the others, or could be the one that was bedeviling them earlier. See, great word. An alien tries to tailspike Rain, but Tyler steps in to take it instead. And the xenomorph uses it like it's gone fishing and got a big one. Well, we've had the chest burster, had the acid, had the tail. It's high time we got the next trademark lethal element put to good use, the spring-loaded mouth. When Tyler pulls out his gun to threaten, and possibly shoot, it's not like it'd make the situation worse, those approaching aliens, the one that's holding him delivers a fuck that noise straight to the head. No using this one, we're just going to have to call it a wash, team. Andy gets knocked down and starts having a seizure. Whatever update this gave his software, he's still an android Rain's dad fished out of a dumpster. So Rain and Kay leave him behind. But Rain can't go through with that. He's still her Andy, even if he's traded dad jokes for mad science. So she gives the black fluid to Kay to bring back to their ship and get in the pod while Rain goes back for Andy. She can pull that off on her own, right? Some people just can't get anything done unless they've taken drugs first. Always sad.